My lighting is a little off because I thought I had enough daylight, but believe me, I have a ring light on my Christmas list because I don't know if I'm going to look too orange or too shiny. Let's just go with it. Hey Booktube, it's Kim at Middle of the Book March. This is a thrifting book haul. I told you a few times I'm out of control, but I could not resist these deals. I have a really incredible used bookstore in a town near me that I go to often, and they specialize in old books, which I love to collect. So I went there, and then I went to two other stores. I went to a little antique shop / junk shop in my town. They have a whole little corner of a bookstore, of a consignment bookstore, and books are $1, a couple dollars. And then I went to a Savers, which I think is part of the same chain as Value Village in Canada. I think it's the same. So I found a couple of books that I really wanted there. I have two bags. I have two of these paper grocery bags. This one's only about half full. And then I have this one, which is quite a bit heavier. So let me see, which one shall I start with? I'll start with the little one. These books that I'm going to show you first are from a thrift store that's like Value Village and another one that's in my town. So these were all thrifted, used books. I paid a few dollars for this entire bag. Okay, maybe like $8 to $9 for the whole bag. This book, I was so giddy when I saw it. It's The Good Pig by Cy Montgomery. And Cy Montgomery wrote The Soul of an Octopus and How to Be a Good Creature. Both books I loved. And this one is about Christopher Hogwood. This is a pig that she took in. She kind of had a de facto animal rescue, animal sanctuary, where she and her partner collected all kinds of varieties of animals, whether they were pets or farm animals. And one of her favorites was Christopher Hogwood, and he became a neighborhood favorite. Kids would come over to her property and they would play with him every day and feed him all kinds of scraps and fruits and apples and all kinds of things. And look at the end papers. It is so adorable. And he appeared in the book How to Be a Good Creature. And this book will make me cry. But it's a hardcover in perfect condition, so I snatched that up. And the second one I found at this particular store is Frank McCourt's second volume of his memoirs, Tis. I am currently listening to this on audio, and I'm probably about 80% done with it. This is the second installment, as I said, and this picks up from the age of 19 on when he gets to New York City. And the audio is just incredible. So I'll be done with that pretty quickly. Okay, the next pile of books are the books that I found in the little antique / junk store in my town. The first one is What the Wind Knows by Amy Harmon. And Amy Harmon is a historical fiction author. She wrote a book From Sand and Ash that I read for my book group a while back and enjoyed it. So I found this one. Now, this next pile of books, they sell for like $1, $2. And I may not have gone out to look for this book, but the author, I enjoyed her writing, and I thought, I can't really lose, so I'm going to try it and see how it goes. This is Anne Gallagher grew up enchanted by her grandfather's stories of Ireland. Okay, I've said this before. You put Ireland in the description. You write about Ireland. It's a novel set in Ireland. I'm all over it. I love Irish authors. I love all of it. There, overcome with memories of the man she adored and consumed by a history she never knew, she is pulled into another time. The Ireland of 1921, teetering on the edge of war. That's all I'm going to read. I have learned very quickly I'm not going to read much of the blurb on the cover for my own sake, because it too often ruins and spoils the whole story. So I only read maybe the first paragraph to kind of get an idea on the tone and the narrative of the book. And this one is historical fiction set in Ireland. Quite often, historical fiction is set during World War II. And I have to say, I have read so many novels with that setting, I've kind of gotten a little jaded on that setting in a novel. But this one I was very happy to read. So I'll try that one. This one, it's interesting. I've picked up quite a few memoirs. This one is the third installment of a memoir. And I found it, I bought the third one with the intention of going back and buying the first two. This is The Turkish Lover by Esmeralda Santiago. She is the author of When I Was Puerto Rican and Almost a Woman, the first two installments in this memoir series. I have seen her books all over BookTube. Heidi from My Reading Life, Alba from Seriella, I think Doris from Aldi Books, all raved about Esmeralda Santiago and her writing and her story. So this is the third installment. I don't really want to read any of the description because I'm going to ruin it. I'm going to ruin the first two. I only know little tiny pieces, but this is another book. This one's paperback, but geez, all these books are in incredible condition. And I've said it before, when I go thrifting or I buy used books, that's what I'm looking for. So I was really happy to find that one. Again, I should stop saying that only because I'm thrilled to find all of these books. I don't buy a book that I'm not happy about. This is The Story of a Brief Marriage by Anuk Arudpragasam. This is his debut novel, and he was shortlisted for the Booker for A Passage North, which I read as a buddy read with Sean the Book Maniac. This is his debut, and it's 2.5 decades into a devastating civil war in Sri Lanka. He is Sri Lankan. Sri Lanka's Tamil minority is pushed inexorably toward the coast by an advancing army. Among the evacuees is Dinesh, whose world has contracted to a makeshift camp where time is measured by the shells that fall around him like clockwork. Alienated from family, home, language, and body, he exists in a state of mute acceptance, numb to the violence around him, till he is approached one morning by an old man who makes an unexpected proposal that Dinesh marry his daughter, Ganja. So, I enjoyed A Passage North. I didn't love it, but I did enjoy it, and his writing is very philosophical, stream of consciousness kind of a thing. He has a PhD in philosophy. And I think the formatting of the writing is similar, which I do like. So we'll see how that one goes. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to any of these, but this one is a book that I saw all over the place, and I would not have purchased it at full price, or I would not have run out to buy it. But I think it was for $1, and it's another hardcover that's almost perfect. This is Rumaan Alam's Leave the World Behind. And this is kind of a weird mystery thriller kind of a book. It is Amanda and Clay are going out to a remote part of Long Island for a vacation and a reprieve from New York City with their teenage son and daughter. But they get a knock on the door late night, and it is Ruth and GH, an older couple who claim to own the home, arriving in a panic. And they say that a sudden blackout has swept New York, and it kind of sounds like the whole city is black and dark and, electricity knocked out. It kind of sounds thriller-ish, maybe a little dystopian, but I thought I'd give it a try. The price couldn't be beat. The last book from this batch is from one of my favorite authors. This is Larry McMurtry, The Last Kind Words Saloon. This is a novel, a slim novel for him. And opening in the settlement of Longgrass, Texas, not quite in Kansas, and nearly New Mexico, we encounter the taciturn Wyatt whiling away his time between bottles and the dentist-turned-gunslinger Doc, more adept at poker than extracting teeth. hailed as heroes for their days of subduing drunks in Abilene and Dodge, more often with a mean look than a pistol. Wyatt and Doc are living out the last days of a way of life that is passing into history, two men never more aware of the growing distance between their lives and legends. So I just love Larry McMurtry's writing. I've read several of his other books, and again, the price couldn't be beat. Perfect condition. I don't know why that's, well, it is important to me. There's a lot of people that really don't care what condition their books are in, which is great. If they buy used books or they go thrifting, they have a lot more opportunities than me to buy books that they think they're going to love. But I just really want, I want to get the best value for the best condition. And so I really do always look for books in really good shape. And so far, I've been extremely lucky. Now, this next bag is the heavier one and the fuller one. And technically, I got this entire bag for 20 cents. Let me tell you how. I did a massive unhaul a couple of months ago, and there's this bookstore close to me that specializes in older books, and he takes trades. So I filled up a couple of bags with books and brought them to him, and my husband and I have done this a couple times before, and I think he gave me like $70 in credit. I don't ever take cash, I take store credit. And I bought these books, and the overage came to 20 cents, and I don't even think he charged me for it. So, again, these are all in spectacular shape. The first one I blame on Britta Bowler. This is a collection of 3 novellas by Katherine Ann Porter, and this is Pale Horse, Pale Rider. And I loved this edition. This contains Old Mortality, Noon Wine, and the title story, Pale Horse, Pale Rider. And it was originally published in 1939. And this got really glowing reviews by Britta, and I think she read it with Adam from Memento Mori. Katherine Ann Porter lived from 1890 to 1980, and is considered an extremely distinguished writer. She was awarded the Pulitzer Prize in Fiction and the National Book Award for her collected stories in 1965, and Pale Horse, Pale Rider was one of those included in that collection. This one I thought I'd take a shot on. This is the first in a series of autobiographical novels, and I kind of had heard this author's name all over the place, but was unfamiliar with his writing. This is My Struggle, Book 1 by Karl Ove Knausgaard. I'm hoping I'm not totally butchering his name. He's a Norwegian author, and he was born in Norway in 1968. This is the first of a series of autobiographical novels, and I thought, I'm going to give it a shot. It introduces us to an audacious, addictive, and surprising literary sensation. It's described as a brilliant 6-volume autobiographical novel compared to Proust. So I'll try it. I'll give it a shot. This one is a book I was looking for a long time in great condition. This is The Volcano Lover by Susan Sontag. Susan Sontag died in 2004 of metastatic breast cancer, and she's extremely well-known author, activist, essayist, artist. So I found this one. This is set in Naples, 1772, the second city of Europe, which is presided over by the volcano Vesuvius. This is the story of a nobleman who gets married to a wonderful woman who happens to die. He ends up falling in love passionately with a very young woman who he ends up marrying, but she eventually finds, by chance, a younger man that she falls passionately in love with. So it's going to be an interesting story, I think. Interesting back cover. Volcano Lover. This one is The Famished Road by Ben Okri. This was the winner of the 1991 Booker Prize. And Ben Okri is an author, a poet, a screenwriter. This is a story narrated by a spiritual child, a Zorro, A boy who lives in a teeming, impoverished African village. He's a spirit child, one who stays in contact with the spirit realm that other children abandon at birth. I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to read anymore. And I used to have a really beat up copy of this book, and I found this hardcover that was in this protective covering, and it's almost brand new. So I snatched that one up. This one, I have a paperback copy of this book with a movie picture on it, and I found this older copy that was pristine, and I love to collect older books. This is the Forsyte Saga by John Galsworthy, and again, it's in this protective cover, extremely clean, just in great condition. This is the story of the Forsyte family. This contains 3 full-length novels: The Man of Property, In Chancery, and To Let. It is compared to Thackeray's Vanity Fair. So, another one that I'm excited about. The last 3 are older volumes of classics, and this particular store, I go crazy because I've purchased several really beautiful old classic books, a lot of them in slipcases, which I have shown on another video. This one is not in a slipcase, but it is this version of Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and it's kind of this classic version with illustrations. The cover alone, the illustration on that. Let's see if I can find a good one. Now, we all know what Wuthering Heights is about. And of course, oh, here's one. Let me find a better picture. Just to give you an example of the illustrations. And there are illustrations throughout this volume. So, really excited about that one. This one is, this is Oliver Goldsmith's The Vicar of Wakefield. And this is in a slipcase. This is the volume. And this is the actual book. And it's a Heritage Club version. And it's got the old pamphlet inside it still. And again, here is an example of an illustration. So the Vicar of Wakefield was mentioned in Middlemarch, and anything that George Eliot has to say, I'm going to listen to. The last one is Jane Eyre and Charlotte Bronte. Look at this cover. This is a book that was most likely in a slipcase, but it's the naked hardback. And again, look at this. Look at the illustrations. I absolutely love these. This looks like another Heritage Club edition. I love these old illustrated hardcovers. And this is not that old of a book. This is 1943 from New York Random House. So really I love finding these old versions of classics. That is it. For this whole pile of books, I think I spent $10. And I'm super happy about it. So that's what I get when I go thrifting, and I really love to do it. And I am not, I've said this before, I buy plenty of new releases, but I'm not that much of a new release person. There are some that I look out for, and I have purchased a lot. I actually like to use Book of the Month Club for new releases, so I get a lot of discounted books that way. That is it for me. Let me know what you think of any of these books, and let me know what you think about my thrifting habit. And I love to talk to you in the comments, and thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.